Good evening and welcome to the show. Thank you all for joining us. I'm sorry if the background music sounded a little strange. I think our file got corrupted on a World Awakening and on Soul School. We'll fix it. But that said, there are glitches in every system and plenty of disturbance in the force, as it were. So, I can just blame the full moon. I was left. Uh, it might be on my end. It just might. Um, so anyway, yeah, Bill's letting me know it sounds fine for him. So, in case it didn't, let me know one way or the other, come to Buttercup Brigade or, whatever and let me know. Um, and so I wanted to let you know that tonight, well, it's been, a pretty tough week. But all things considered, all is well this evening. And I'm so glad to be joining all of you. And tonight I have one of my nearest and dearest friends, DeRousse, is joining us, and I can't think of anybody that I would rather talk to tonight, other than my partner Jeff Turner on Soul School, who lifted me up in immeasurable ways. He always does. Uh, it is, oh, hello, Laura. Hello, sweetheart. Uh, okay, so good. Excellent. Very good to know. It's just probably a glitch in Christine's computer. I use her computer while I'm here. Uh, so I'm still in Georgia as of today, 8 months that I've been here. And other than a few jaunts to Ohio and Kansas City, Missouri, and Alaska, and, a few other places that I've been, for relatively short periods of time, other than Alaska, which was a full week. I have been here with my mother and my sisters, Christine predominantly, but Cindy and nieces and a nephew that's close by. And we're a very close knit family. I know a lot of you are very well aware of that. And so I just want to express my gratitude, as I did during the last hour with Jeff, express my gratitude to all of you for your thoughts and your prayers and your uplifting comments and the kindness that you all seem to extend with such great ease. I don't think there's a mean-spirited person among our tribe. I really don't. They wouldn't gravitate. Somebody that thinks like that would never gravitate to our circle. Um, and it's important that we have this place, this safe place where we can gather and be together and just love each other. Even if there are people that are watching this, it's Saturday morning in Australia. Bless you. Thank you. We have followers in Iceland and some places. Oh, that's so sweet. See there. All I have to do, ask and you shall receive. Oh, so sweet. Thank you, sweetheart. Um, it's wonderful, wonderful to have you all. I feel the vibe. Thank you, Brady. Thank you. I do. I feel the love vibe coming from all of you. And who better to bring on the show tonight than the mystical, magical DeRousse.
Aw. Hi, Annie.
Hi, sweetheart.
I have a huge lump in my throat.
Oh,
And, sweetheart, I want you to know, above and beyond everything, what you get, all the love that you're getting and the prayers and the good thoughts is what you put out. You're just getting that back.
well, I
And
appreciate
I know that you feel so overwhelmed with all of this love and the good wishes and the angel arms around your family, but you deserve it, sweetheart. You've put that love out there to all of us and the whole universe, and you're getting it back. So
well,
take it. You need it.
I
You need
do.
that strength.
Yep,
Yeah.
I do. It's
So
I
loved.
told you we were on the phone just the other day because, oh, yes, we do talk personally
Oh,
often
yes, we do.
at work. And, and, it's, I believe I told you that of everything that's upcoming, in terms of events for me, for the rest of the year, and it's relatively few. I've been very, very careful about my scheduling and my
Yeah,
travel. Um, Going to UFO Contact at Houghton Lake, Michigan
yeah,
in September. Um, you'll have to tell everybody the dates, and I'm sure that it's connected to this. There's a link to it for anybody that wants to come. I would highly recommend it. I think it's the kind of event that we really all need.
it
And
is.
and I know that from the time we've talked about this before, but from the time I arrive till the time that I leave, I don't know what it is about that place. The Lakeside Resort. I don't know what it is. I mean, I've been there. I don't know how many times now.
Right.
It feels like a multitude of times. I've certainly spent a multitude of days and hours
Yes, you
in
have.
the place, and yet every time I'm there, well, Lenny says to me she's going to every year. She threatens to bring one of those, the things with the parents that have the unruly children, and they have to put like this,
A leash?
like a slinky, thing on them to lead them
Right.
around. And every year she threatens to, get a slinky bracelet for us to cuff each other together so that I don't get
Uh,
lost.
I love it.
When it's time for me to speak, she has to come, get me and lead me up to that room
Mhm.
and everything. I feel like I'm in an entirely different dimension while I'm there. I'm in
Right.
different headspace, but like different physical space too. I can't really explain it, but I know I'm not the only one that
Oh, no,
experiences that,
no.
you know?
I experience it, and I am there I mean, it's in my town,
Yeah.
and I do other events there, and I'm there all the time, but I do the same thing. But I can tell you, Annie, especially when we gather, the group that gathers at the UFO Contact, the energy with all of
Oh,
us, and then being in where we are, it's definitely, Houghton Lake is the largest inland lake in Michigan.
mhm.
So you have all of that water in the open sky. It's a small town. Um, but the portals through here, we have two ley lines that cross right through that area.
Mhm.
So it's very fifth dimensional when you get there,
Yeah.
and it's really hard to stay grounded.
Oh, well, yeah, because it feels like you're stepping into the friggin' Stargate.
Right. And I think we are.
Does.
Yes. Yes. Well, every year you go out at the end on Saturday night and you bring them in. You do lots of amazing things with people. You help people open their third eye. You give out all of this love again, and you bring in the mothership and the whole family. And there's so many sightings on that weekend
You know,
that it's mind blowing.
it is. It
Mind
really
blowing.
is. Remember the year? It was certainly, I think it was before COVID. In fact, I'm sure it was before COVID when like three or four people from Michigan, from that area, sent me a news broadcast clip of a bunch of what looked like vessels that had gathered over Houghton Lake, like right where we were, and
Right.
then moved over the Petoskey area and Little Traverse Bay, and
Right.
and then disappeared off the radar. And all the meteorologists were like, "Well, that must have been a flock of birds."
Right. Those are some dang big
Big
birds, let me tell
birds,
you.
yeah. Oh my God, it's so funny. I laughed my ass off. You know, I mean, I didn't invite them to come and then stay for the next 3 days and freak everybody out that's in, that part of Michigan. Sorry about that. You're supposed to just come in, visit, and then we all go to our hotel rooms and you guys go do what you do.
Right.
Oh,
No, no, they are there
not
for the
that
weekend.
year.
And I can tell you, Annie, that they planned the whole event from the get-go.
Yeah, I know they
It
did.
was after I had missing time
Yeah,
again, and
again.
it just I never planned on putting on this type of event. And it just came out of my mouth when RJ said to me at the end of our busy season, it was like late December. He says, "Boy, I'm really glad that we have this downtime. I'm glad we're on break right now. I'm exhausted." He wasn't too used to doing the work that we do. And I turned to him and I said, "Well, we're going to put on a UFO con." And he looked at me, his mouth dropped open. He said, "Where did that come from?" I said, "I have no idea. That was not a thought that went through my mind. It just came out my mouth."
Yeah,
But I knew instantly who to contact. Um, and of course, you were one of my very first.
yeah.
And it was like everything fell into place.
Mhm. Yeah, you
So,
called me and you said, "Will you come headline my event if I can get Tenny?" And I said, "Oh, of course." And then I said, "I'd come anyway, but if you can get Tenny, all the better." And then you did the same damn thing to him. We talk.
it worked.
It's
You both love me. I love you guys. I mean,
yes, yeah, it was
I
really,
didn't
it was
expect
really
you to
great.
tell them, but it
I think
worked.
he told me. I
Well,
think he
that could
told
be.
me. Yeah, it was so
Yes.
funny.
And you'll both be there this year.
Yeah,
And the dates are September 22nd, 23rd this year.
yeah,
Yeah. And if anybody wants the information, the website is miufocon.com.
yeah.
It's also all over Facebook. If you go to Ticket Leap and type in, Michigan UFO Contact, it'll come up. So it's pretty easy to find. Um,
I
people
think
in
all of
my
our VIP stuff's all sold out for the
oh
opening
yeah,
night, though, right? That's long
long
gone.
ago, yeah,
Yeah,
VIPs. In fact, I added several this year, and it was still gone really,
that's so
really
great.
quickly. Yeah,
I'm so charmed and touched by the notion that people want to do a meet and greet that's a smaller, more intimate thing, and be able. I mean, me, I sing happy birthday to whoever's birthday it is, and then I table leap and hop and jump around and we see a lot of the same people every year, but not always. We get new people
right,
every year, and
right,
I try to make a point of spending some time with them too, and having that be uh, really a much more. It's not as hectic. It's just
right,
so relaxed, and it's and of course I have to go out on the back deck, and immediately as soon as I get outside, four or five, six people will follow me, and then I'll just sing a little song to the cosmos, and all of a sudden, I mean, if I'm outside, they're there. All you have to do is look up. Don't look at me.
right,
Look up,
right.
and have
Absolutely.
that experience in real time. I think that is an extraordinary element of this,
Mhm.
because they certainly know where I am. They know where I'm going, and Deb, I don't know why this is. I don't know why any of this is. I don't know, and I'm really comfortable with saying that, because tonight I was sitting out, several of the vessels that I am in regular contact with, daily contact with, are parked in the north sky. And whether it's I'm overlooking the house, looking to the north
Mhm.
over the house in Winter Garden, Florida, or I'm here in Georgia and sitting out on the deck, all I have to do is look into that patch. Now that all the leaves are in over the big, huge oak tree in the backyard, It leaves kind of between the frame of the roof and the overhanging leaves. There's this area of sky that, of course, is, voluminous, but it looks so small from my vantage point on the deck. And yet, all I have to do is look into that space, and there they are, which, in not only intuitively, but also, logically, they know where I can see them. They know where to put themselves where I can see them.
Right.
And I'm just so I'm so grateful that they work with me, because
Yeah.
I mean, you and I are both on what some people will smirk at or belittle, but we're both on a mission. Um,
Absolutely.
and it's a very important one. And
Hmm.
you came at it from a little bit different. You're, so much into the energy and healing arts, and you have an ability, oh my God, to meditate in a way that
Yeah.
everyone should emulate, because it just takes you into such, deep space, inside yourself. It's
Hmm.
beautiful. And your your ability to not only to read what someone needs, but then be able to address it is
Thank you.
phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Oh, and by the
Thank
way,
you.
I need a treatment.
Yes, you do. And you
Yes,
will be getting one.
yes, I do. Um, yeah, so like I'll be seeing you, chick. I got a nice big room, we'll spread out. Now I
Yeah.
wanted to tell, and I'm really, really hoping, and I won't even say his name yet, until we know for sure, and then we can put it out. But I met a man in, using that term loosely.
Yes.
I met a man, a mostly human being, in Kansas City, Missouri, and when he walked in the door, the second night of the event, all the guest speakers and everybody were all having dinner together in a suite. And when he walked in the door, it was either Zaphis or Greta. It might have been Greta that I leaned over and I said, "He's the reason I'm here." And it was like this. And I had done a calling the night before. I hadn't seen him there. I didn't know if he knew me, but I made damn sure he knew me within 15 minutes of his arrival. I don't think I stopped talking. I made him sit down, and I just like immediately connected with him. Didn't give him a chance to get in a word in edgewise. Told him that I was absolutely certain that he was among the tall whites that are earthbound right now, that are here to be the light workers and to help. And I didn't know what he knew about anything having to do with the galactic family. I just identified him immediately as a member of the galactic family. Come to find out, he does exactly what I do. He does it a little bit differently. I don't do what Steve Greer does. I do what I do, and he does what
Right.
he does. And
Right.
I told him about this upcoming event, and he's like very excited and wants to come. And so I called you. I said, can we squeeze it? Like, can he be my guest at least? I mean, the speaker spots are all filled up, but
Right.
so you can meet this man, and he's from England, and has just recently immigrated to the United States within the last few months, I believe. And
Wow.
and you said, "Oh my God, yeah, bring him along," and so on and so forth. And so now we're working on the logistics to get him to Detroit and then up to Houghton Lake.
Hmm.
Um, but I've been telling everybody, you've got to come to UFO Contact this year, because
Yeah.
chances are really, really good I'm bringing my own galactic family member. I mean, when you
How exciting, huh?
when you look in his eyes, you'll be like, okay, Pleiadian. But maybe there's some Arcturian DNA in there. He's wicked smart, wicked smart. Um, and so anyway, hopefully he will, and we'll announce it. If we can get him there, we'll announce it. And but yeah, wouldn't that be so great? I mean,
That
this
would be
is
wonderful.
an
Yes.
opportunity unlike any. I just feel like I need to introduce him to our family here in the States.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I mean, this event attracts people from all over the United
Oh,
States
yeah.
and even overseas. So, you know, he belongs there. This is a way for him to, you know, amalgamate with us.
Hmm.
Because,
Yeah.
you know, you and I have talked about this as well. Over in Europe, especially in the UK, uh, the people seem a lot more comfortable and more, uh, what's the word I'm looking? Oh, having a COVID brain moment. They're just inured to the notion of ghosts and spirits.
Hmm.
You know, whichever word in the vernacular you choose to use, it's basically the same thing. And
Hmm.
you know, a lot of them live in 500 and 600-year-old houses, and they're used to, you know, having the occasional someone pass through or make their presence known in the house, and they have a history with that house, and there they are, and it's just accepted. And they're a lot more sophisticated on the
Hmm.
subject than Americans are, even though there's a large percentage, over 65% of Americans believe in at least the possibility of ghosts and spirit existing.
Hmm.
Um, Over there, it's just a given. It's just a given. You know, there's
Right.
nobody that you talk to that they're like, "Oh yeah, my aunt's house is haunted," or you know, "Oh yeah, I grew up with a spirit." It's just it's a given.
Hmm.
Um, and yet they're not so keen on the galactic family. They're a little reticent, generally, very, you know, kind of a conservative mindset, and not so readily accepting of the notion that we are not only cohabitating with, but are routinely visited by extraterrestrial races,
Hmm.
more than one.
No,
Not
and very likely a part of.
Yeah, they're not
Mhm.
comfortable with it the way that a lot of Americans are.
Right.
So he's here because he wants to experience what we experience, and
Mhm.
you know, in a society that's more open, I think,
Mhm.
to the idea, more accepting, and less suspicious
Right.
about it. So yeah, so hopefully I'll be bringing him, and we will make that big
Yes.
announcement. But you know, talk some tonight about who's speaking and where we're going. What's the impetus behind this year's con?
Yeah. Well, I think that we're going into a really incredible year because, you and I have talked for years about, we the people, the experiencers, are the point of disclosure.
Yeah,
But it is being talked about. I mean, we are having congressional hearings. So, I mean, talk about opening windows and doors. And
yes,
this is amazing. So,
yeah,
I think it's
it's
going to be a
encouraging.
really, really incredible year, anyways. Um, but of course, we have a fabulous lineup. We have you, who everybody here knows, and you just I like to have you early in the day on Saturday because you just pick people up and perk people up and wake people up, and you're amazing. People just absolutely love you.
Thank you.
So, but that's on Saturday. Now, Friday, we of course do the experiencer panel, and that's going to be done a little bit later in the day this year. Things are a little bit different. Um, and that's 2 hours of you and I and Bill Konkleski, Reverend Michael J. Carter
I love him.
from Ancient Aliens. He is, I can't even. He's amazing, and I can tell you, he is also not from here.
I know.
Um, but we will all be on the panel. And this panel is all for the experiencers to have somebody to talk to have stories to listen to ask us any questions that they want.
Mhm.
We're wide open. So that's the Friday thing. And then we have, some speakers on Friday. I'm not going to put the schedule totally out there, but we have, of course, you already gave that away, John Tenney,
Right.
who is also absolutely amazing. And, he never, John never gives me what he's speaking on.
Yeah.
So I always title it, whatever John wants. It's
Yeah.
going to be wonderful. And he never fails.
No.
Every year he captivates the audience. People just absolutely love him. So we have John, we have Michael Carter, who from Ancient Aliens, he's an author. He's written 3 books that I actually have right in front of me.
Mhm.
A New World, if you can take it. You probably can't see that.
Yeah.
Alien Scriptures, and one of his newest ones. And I kind of want to show this. I don't know if people, is it backwards? It is.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
Initiation. But this is a book, honestly, that I think every experiencer should read. He is remarkable. He's a theologist and he's a minister, but he's so
Mhm.
old soul
Yes.
and a part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mind blowing. We also have Amber Rose Hammond, who is a Michigan
I
girl.
love her.
I do too. I love her. And she's there every year, but this will be the first year that she's speaking. She's an author. She's written books like Mysterious Michigan. She's an experiencer
Yeah.
herself. I think she has like 4 books out. She does a podcast called Ghostly Talk. I had to write it down.
Mhm.
So so we have her, Amber Rose Hammond. Deb Jordan Cabal from she's also doing the Voices of Contact show with us now.
Mhm.
She was the figure in Bud Hopkins' book years ago that ended up in 1992 becoming a movie. And what was the name of that book? I know it. Intruders, the incredible visitors at Copley Woods, something like that. But Bud really told some great stories on some of Deb's experiences. And she is not only a lifelong experiencer, but generational, as some of us are. We have Mary Bassett, who is a regressionist. Some people say hypnotist. She does a lot of work with MUFON,
Mhm.
and she will also be doing a live regression and a surprise person at the event. She'll be speaking. We'll be doing a Voices of Contact panel, and she will be doing a live regression. Now, she did do that last year. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And it was pretty incredible.
Yeah, it was
So,
intense.
yeah. So we had a lot of requests for that to
Mhm.
happen again, and it's going to. So
Yeah.
we're really pleased about that. And Bill Konklowski, of course,
Oh God,
he is
Bill.
we all love Bill.
Yeah.
He's the state director of MUFON here in Michigan. He's a lifelong experiencer, author, speaker. He's just, yeah,
I know.
we
Didn't
love,
Bill have his first experience when he was 3 years old?
yeah,
Yeah, I thought
yeah,
so. Yeah, 3 years
right.
old, and he remembers every instant of it.
Well,
Like,
he's been also through a lot of regressions.
mhm.
Yeah, but he does. I mean, he talks openly about all of them.
Yeah,
Um, it, and he works at a college, so it can't be real easy to be so open.
yeah.
You know, I give him a ton of credit for what he
Well,
does.
yeah, academia, where you would think that you would have the most open-minded people on the planet is sometimes, I mean, ask Avi Loeb how it went for him at Harvard.
Right,
He identified an unidentified flying object in our solar system as an extraterrestrial probe. And those that weren't laughing him out of the halls of academia were chastising him out of the halls of academia. A
right,
man that had devoted his entire life to science. and then
Mm.
suddenly he is degraded and belittled, and uh, what he went through is just, it's horrifying to me. And it's amazing, in a place of higher learning you can find so much ignorance, and and people that just are absolutely unwilling to alter their perspective for a moment, so rigid and so strict in the way that they view, whatever science that they're involved in, whether it's quantum mechanics, physics, whatever, that, it's got to be this way. It can't be that way. It's got to be this. This is what,
Right.
and then we'll actually do whatever is necessary to make the science match the theorem.
Right.
Shouldn't the theorem match the science? Um, but anyway, that said, I don't mean to be critical. I was well educated in an excellent college, which is now a university,
Hmm.
Chatham in Pittsburgh, private women's college when I was there, and used to be the Pennsylvania School for Women. Was established in 1869 by some of the wealthiest, the barons, as it were,
Wow.
of American commerce.
Mm.
And they gave their homes. They all lived in this quaint, bucolic part of Pittsburgh. And, Andrew Mellon gave his house to found the college. And,
Wow.
the Carnegies and the Fickus family and
Hmm.
the Barry family, and, just the wealthiest, from railroads to, yeah, to shipping, to all the people that made the most money in America had homes in this part, Woodland Road in Pittsburgh, um, and that's where I went to college, living in dormitories that were converted into dormitories from mansions.
Hmm.
uh, and what an extraordinary experience, but also what an extraordinary education I got.
Yeah.
But the thing is, education is not stagnant. The flow of information is not set in stone. We've talked about this a multitude of times, about everything that we work in, this field that we work
Hmm.
in, is considered by most to be pseudoscience. And yet,
Right.
all existing science, provable, verifiable science that is considered legitimate in 2023, was once considered pseudoscience.
Hmm.
The earth was once considered flat. You know,
Right.
So,
Still is by a few.
oh yeah, and
We
only
won't go there.
7,000 years old too. Yeah, okay, there's that. Yeah, and some of them are in Congress. So that's really amazing. Uh,
Right.
yeah. Um, but then, I mean, what's a Congress without, some
Mm.
ignorant religious zealots and some insurrectionists? I mean, what
Right.
is it if not an eclectic mix of America?
Oh boy,
Oh,
is it ever?
Jesus.
Is it ever?
So yeah, there's that. So, and that's the thing that I so appreciate about UFO contact, is that you can go into this event bringing your own life experience, being, if you're a contactee, you can say so, and nobody's
Mhm.
going to look at you like you've got three heads, because
Right.
you just admitted that you're a contactee to probably four or five other contactees.
Right.
We are birds of a feather. We do tend to flock together.
Yeah.
And the only way that we can make a really measurable difference in this world, when we're together, we're healing the whole planet. And even though that is an immeasurable process that is going on, we
Mhm.
are literally raising the vibration, heightening the
Absolutely.
frequency of the planet
Mhm.
with this gathering of people. And to be a part of it is a real privilege to me. It really is. It means the world to me. And going back full circle to what I was saying, it's also very healing. And of all the events that I have attended or will attend this year, it's the one that I look forward to most
Thank
because
you.
I know that I will come away from it better than I arrived.
And it truly is. Thank you. Thank you, Andrea. It truly is a coming home for many.
It
It
is.
really is. It's where we can go and be ourselves and be comfortable. And
Mm.
speaking of that, I left a few people out, so I want to get back on track just
Okay.
for a moment. Um, Tim Ellis has been our MC for about the past 3 or 4 years,
Yeah, I
and
sort of
he
kind of
is
know him.
fantastic.
Yes.
So he and his partner, Brad Blair,
Oh
who
no,
they
you
they
invited
run
Blair? Hubcap?
UPPRS
You invited
together.
Hubcap?
They are, yes. Mr. Pabst is, or whatever his beer is,
Yeah.
he will be there.
You
They
were
will be
with us
speaking,
here.
Tim and Brad. They've been doing paranormal work forever. I swear,
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
And in exploring the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, that is, of course, surrounded by water,
Mhm.
they have had many encounters with UFOs,
Yeah.
and with family. So, and they're also authors.
Mhm.
So they will be speaking as well. And I want to take a moment to give a little credit to my husband, RJ,
Yeah.
who's, he's very supportive in this and is kind of like, I don't know how he puts up with my insanity sometimes as I'm, trying to book flights and do, the back end of things. But
Yeah.
I have to give him a lot of credit. I really do.
Yes,
And
and I think
Mike
everybody
Smith.
does. He's a fixture. He is.
Yeah. Yes, he is. He's not one to be out there doing the stuff, as far as, putting the event together and the schedule. He does help me with, okay, ideas on who and what and how does this feel. But he's amazing. And also Mike Smith. And
I
Mike
was
is,
gonna say, yep, Mike.
I'll tell you, 734 Designs is his business.
Mhm.
And he is incredible at making the banners and all the graphics and all of that go into the event. But not only that, he has the roughest job because um, he didn't come last year and it was horrible for me. But
It
he's
was.
my calm.
Yep.
He is, I am very OCD and ADHD, and I want everything to be right. And so does Mike, but he does it in a very calm way.
Mhm.
And he knows when to walk up, grab my arm, and say, "Okay, let's go outside for a second."
Bring the cigarette. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but he puts a lot into it too. He listens to me go on all year long. I throw everything by him, and God bless him for putting up with me.
Yeah. He's.
Honestly, I say I couldn't do it without him. And last year he had COVID.
I
He
know.
was diagnosed with COVID the day he was coming.
Yeah.
And
I
it
remember
was
because we
it was
went and picked
rough.
up everything and
Yes.
crammed it into, yeah,
Oh, I
Lenny and
know.
Jeff picked me up
They
at the airport in
God.
Detroit, and his house is only like 10 minutes from the airport. We just made a little detour, stopped
Right.
by, kept about 20 feet distance between us, and Jeff loaded the boxes. I don't know where we found room to put everything into their big ass SUV, but he made it work.
Right. Yeah.
And
Well, Mike also does all the t-shirts and the hoodies and
everything,
all
everything.
of the fun little things that we sell.
Yeah,
That all comes from him. So yeah, you guys had to bring all of that.
yep, yep,
God
we
bless
did.
you. I mean, and Jeff was so sweet about it. He's like, "Oh, it's no big
No big
deal.
deal.
No big deal. We got this."
Yeah, well, that's Lynn and Jeff for you. They're
I
like,
know.
whatever
I
the
love
issue is,
them.
we'll make it work.
They're so
Whatever it
awesome.
is. Yep.
Yep. And they do. They make
And
it
they
work.
do. Hey, they get me
What?
there every year, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Yep. I so
Absolutely. And
appreciate it.
I just
Plus, I
can't
get
wait to
to
see them.
drive through Michigan. Michigan is like
Yeah.
a second home to me. I love it, love it, love it.
Yeah. Well, Michigan adopted you long ago.
Long ago. Yeah. Well,
I
that's
think.
only because that, you poor folks up in the frozen tundra, there are months and months out of every year where, I mean, ask Tim and Brad about Hold My Beer. I'm either all anybody does up there is
Oh.
they drink beer to stay warm, and they pee in the snow, and they ride snowmobiles everywhere, and they read. And sometimes they do all those things together.
All at
Uh,
the same
yeah,
time.
there's no explaining it, but yeah, so it just seems like an inordinate amount of people in Michigan have read my trilogy, just an inordinate amount,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
so it's great because uh, I know that I'm not just going in battling misconceptions from The Conjuring. I know that I'm going into somebody that actually knows the backstory and has really erudite questions, and that type of thing. It's a whole different thing in Michigan. It's just magical. I love it.
It is. It is. But I have to say, I don't drink beer. Not that I don't
Mhm.
drink anything, but I don't drink beer.
Yeah.
Um, and definitely not Blatz if I do. And I
Yeah.
don't have a
Yeah.
snowmobile. I'm just not that crazy. When I was younger, of course I did, but I'm not that crazy about the cold at
Yeah.
my age. So
I know it hurts. It really does. It physically hurts to be
it
cold
does.
for me.
Yeah.
And even this past winter, being down here in Georgia, oh, for God's sake! I mean, we must have had like 10 or 12 days where
Oh
it
no.
never got above freezing and was often in the single digits with wind chills below zero in Georgia. It was just a
Wow.
really brutally cold winter. It killed off so many of my sister's perennials and things.
Aw.
This is normally like a freaking botanical garden in the spring, and we had a hard freeze well into spring once everything had started to bloom. We lost an azalea
Geez, I'm
bush. We
sorry.
lost a gardenia bush that was 50 years old. If it was a day, it was enormous, and it's dead.
Oh,
Just lost her Chapelera plant. I mean, we had a really brutally cold winter, and I just thought it was never ever going to end. I was like, Jesus Christ, I might as well be in Michigan if it's going to be this.
well, as you're talking, I'm thinking we didn't have it really a lot worse than that. We
Yeah,
probably had more snow,
yeah,
but I'm kind of mid-Michigan. I'll
yeah,
hold my hand up. I'm more like in the middle finger.
yeah.
Um, and
Nice.
and Tim and Brad are up in the Upper Peninsula, so
Yeah,
by
I
Canada.
sort of think the Post Lake is more like the heart, okay? Not the middle finger, the heart.
Okay, I like that. Okay,
Yeah,
so the heart of Michigan.
yeah,
Although sometimes, that middle finger is necessary.
yeah, sometimes it is, yeah,
But they get a lot more snow than we do.
yeah,
But, yeah, I think everybody in Michigan has peed in the snow just because it's fun.
yeah, just because you
So
can.
if
Yeah.
if you've never done it, you need to come here for a winter and try it.
I will come up this year. I know you always have your women's getaway in the winter. If I can make it this year, I would really
Yeah.
love to, because that's just so my bailiwick. I would be totally into that, being a radical feminist that I am. And I can't help it, Deb. You knew that about me the instant you met me. You're like,
Uh,
right there.
absolutely, absolutely. That's why
A
we had it.
bra
One
burner
of
if
the
I ever
reasons.
saw one. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's normally in November.
Hmm.
So it is cold here at that time, but oftentimes we don't have a lot of snow, if any, in November.
Hmm.
So you might be safe.
Might be. We'll see
Yeah,
how it goes. I'm really
yeah,
hoping to attend this year.
yeah. But I have seen UFO contacts, Andrea, that are always in September that you have been pretty darn cold.
Yeah.
You're saying, oh my God, it's freezing here, and we're
Yep.
running around in shorts.
I know.
I
Well, please take it. I have been here as of today for 8 months in
know.
Georgia, so I'm more acclimated to Georgia, and our temperature has been so routinely in the 90s for
Yeah.
most of July. I mean, it's been very, very hot and muggy this summer, and not a lot of rain. So, I'm
Mm,
acclimated to that. There have been days that it's been hotter here than it has been in my other home in Winter Garden, Florida. Um,
wow.
and we've certainly had not nearly the rain that they've had in Florida. So, you acclimate to the area. That's one thing human
Right.
beings do very well is acclimate. I mean,
Mhm.
when I was in Alaska, I thought I am going to die when, we get off that ship and go into these, ports of call and all of and I didn't have any issue at all. I just made sure that I was dressed for success. Christine bought me. Wait till you see it. I'm bringing it. I'm bringing it. I am bringing it. You're gonna want one. I'll get you one. It is. It's like, oh, I can't even explain it. It's got a hood. It's got big long arms. It's very long. It's a soft.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
and it all folds in and zips up into a pillow, like
Oh,
about
geez.
this wide and like this big and about that wide. It
Oh,
all
wow.
folds into itself, so you can take it on the airplane as a pillow, but then you've got your full length. I don't care how cold it is. This would keep you warm.
I already want one.
Yeah. Oh, wait till you see it. You're gonna be sick with jealousy.
Oh,
We'll
yes.
hook you up. I'll bring the catalog. We'll get you one. Fabulous, so fabulous.
Oh,
Yeah, you can
wonderful.
weather almost any terrain with that. And it was so weird too in Alaska because here I am completely utterly surrounded by water and glaciers and humpback whales and orcas and I
Oh,
mean
oh,
just
cool.
absolutely amazing. But the air was so dry that
Uh,
I there was like, how can you be on a gazillion gallons of water completely surrounded by no, because you know what? No. And have the air so dry that your lips are chapped and your
yeah.
skin is like I can't explain it. There was just no moisture in the air. It's like it was just all in the ocean.
Hmm.
But we did some callings up on the top level of the ship, also
Yeah.
the smoking section where all the cool kids hang out. And yeah, we'll do some of that while I'm in Houghton Lake too. We'll do
Yeah.
plenty of that. Oh, are Christine and Wes Carpenter coming with the bowls?
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, I have not talked to her about the bowls, but I will. I can always take my bowls
Hmm.
for her to use, or
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she's amazing. And now, did she do that 2 years in a row now?
I believe she did. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
played the bowls while
Yeah.
you brought them in. And I can tell you, because I've done it, we do the work. I
Mhm.
don't really call it CE5, but it's
No,
similar.
it's not. Yes.
And I don't sing them in because God knows I don't sing. I mean, I sing by myself.
I just call it conscious cosmic
There
contact.
you go.
That's what
We
works
do
for
we
me.
do contact work
Yeah.
for sure, and I use the bowls, and it works. You
It
talk about
works.
raising
Oh,
vibrations.
yes. Oh, not like nothing else. It works like nothing else. I
Yeah.
mean, and Christine puts her whole heart and
Oh, yeah.
soul into it. I mean, you can just the way she touches these bowls and you can
Hmm.
it's like poetry in motion. It's like watching a ballet. Absolutely amazing, but she's creating the soundtrack
Yeah.
and it is amazing. She's very gifted. I haven't
Oh,
heard
she
you play the
is.
bowls yet.
No.
No, I don't think
Oh,
I've heard you play the
okay.
bowls. Yeah,
Well,
just
I'll have to do that sometime. I think I've even made a few videos and put them on Facebook. But
oh,
yeah, one
very
of these
cool.
days, maybe I'll bring them if we get time this year. And
Yeah.
in fact, Chris and I talked about she could play at one end of the sand, and I could play
Yeah,
at the other end, and just have it resonate. But she is so, she becomes one with her bowls,
she does.
and it's wonderful. I mean, I do too, but I think it's a little bit different.
Hmm.
I'm not sure. I really enjoy listening as well as
Yeah,
playing.
yeah.
Um, when
It's
I
almost
do,
like she becomes the music and the music
oh
becomes her,
yeah,
and
yeah.
there's just a symbiotic relationship that
Hmm.
exists when she picks
Right,
up her magic wand.
yeah. Now, when I do, I always do the spring and fall retreat weekends.
Yeah.
Um, the one that you're talking about possibly coming to, that would be wonderful. And Chris always does a healing sound bath for about
Hmm.
an hour for that. And
Hmm.
it's amazing to see people. how they react. You know, some people will start out sitting up and then they're laying on the floor before,
Mhm.
15 minutes or
Yeah,
whatever. A lot of people, even Wes, has said, "Oh my God, I didn't have any clue how to meditate, but I just meditated."
yeah,
It's wonderful.
it
It's
is.
wonderful to see how it works. But
It is.
yeah,
We are. Some people must think, and frankly, I don't give a shit, but I really don't. But I mean, we're kind of like the woo woo crowd when it comes to that, and
that's okay.
and that's perfectly. I can't think of anything that's more soothing, more calming, more peaceful, more healing, more
Right.
loving, more. It's. I mean, we literally become the collective. I mean, we are. We meld. We mind meld. We heart meld. We
Exactly.
just. It's.
Yeah.
Uh,
They
my.
can call us woo woo. It's fine with me. I'm
It,
happy here.
yeah. Yeah. We're in our happy place. Well,
That's
Deb,
right.
it's so wonderful to have this to look forward to. I really mean it when I say I need this upcoming weekend.
Yes.
And just to be with you and have my arms around you and for us to have this most special time together. It means the whole world to me. And I hope that
Thank
everybody
you.
within earshot of this program has a chance to experience UFO contact at Houghton Lake, Michigan.
Yes. Get
Because
your tickets.
yeah, I can tell you, you won't be the same as
Yeah.
you were when you arrive. When you leave, you'll be different. You'll be better.
It's
Um,
transformational for
it
sure.
is, and transcendent.
Yes.
It is. It's
Mm,
an incredibly uplifting event. Well, we are out of time, which hardly seems fair,
I
especially because
know.
time is
Mm,
nothing but an illusion anyway.
that's
But
right.
the illusionist behind our Magic Man Bill behind the scenes has to run a little commercials to pay the bills. So
Right.
nice. That's very nice. That was him. He just did that. Um, and so I just want to thank you with all my heart for staying up
Oh,
late with me
thank
this Friday night. And you know how much I love you. I'll call you this week.
you. Yes.
And
My heart's with you, my friend, my
thank
sister.
thank you. Thank
Yes.
you.
And
And
thank you for having me on.
to all of our viewers, I remind you every week what I remind myself every week is to always strive to be the beacon, always strive to be the light you seek. I love you all. Have a lovely evening. Good night.